First off, a very warm welcome to the channel. I hope this thing works. I didn't even test it out. But yeah, I mean, first YouTube video, many more to come, way more value to come. I'm kind of just rambling on in this video, but this is important. The question for today's video, the topic is, is info dying? Is the info space dying off? Are course sellers, info sellers, anyone selling a service online, is it still profitable? Is it too saturated? Are too many people doing it, not even having success with the skill or having the ability to teach it? Is it just becoming too saturated? Are people, prospects, starting to catch on? Am I even going to have success with this business model? Is it worth the $3, $4, $5,000 that I have saved up for the past couple of years? Is info dying? And this is kind of a two-parter, right? Because you look at how info used to be, back in, let's say, like 2017, right? 2017 to about 2022, 23. That was prime info. Online education space, pretty new, popping off. A lot of people are seeing a lot of people make a lot of money and wondering how, investing in how to do it, to hopefully do it themselves, right? That was old info, right? I don't want to say it was easy back then, but it was definitely easier. You know, you didn't have these complex systems in place, these back end sales funnels. You didn't need really setters and closers to close $50 to $100,000 every single month for whatever it is you were selling. You could kind of do that all yourself. People were pretty sold before hopping on a sales call, if you even took sales calls back then, or if you just directed them to a payment processing link. I mean, I don't know, but I will say that's dying off. That's almost dead, to the point where people know what info is now. People know what this online education space is now. They want to be a part of it. You know, the average age is probably right around 19 years old. I see 16-year-olds, 15-year-olds in this space just trying to scrape and make money doing high ticket sales or whatever it is. So people know about this. They want to do it long term. Um, and it's coming to a point where when someone finds out about it, they're trying to get into it. Just for background, I went to college. I did 4 years in college. I played football. That's the only reason I went. And I found out about the info online space pretty late, I would say. 2025 January, come across some Instagram ad, and I'm just like, what is this? I got sold on TikTok Shop, if that tells you anything. That's not the most lucrative business model you can do online. There's way more out there. So I was late, right? Because I went to school, because I got a degree, because I played a sport, right? Um, and it was way easier, if you found this out in COVID, say. You started selling info in COVID, you started growth operating in COVID, whatever it may be, you would have made a lot more money than you probably are now, right? I would not say info's dead completely. What I would say is that there's a new level to it. So, what I mean by this is people know what the online coaching info product space is. They know that when they hop on a call, they're going to be probably getting sold to, right? So, you have to be way more strategic about it, and you have to nurture the lead a lot more than you used to have to. Granted, I didn't sell info. I didn't help coaches sell info back then. It's just the amount of research I've done and the amount of content I've consumed about the info space that it's a lot harder to get somebody to buy a high ticket product. It just is nowadays, right? Because people know what it is. Now, I will say this too. A lot of people in my hometown, my friends, they don't even, they've seen an ad maybe, but they still don't really know what the online education info space is. Um, so I think there is definitely an untapped market. A lot of people still don't know, right? And a lot of people are just getting started. And I think there's going to be like this new wave of info coming along where there's people that are still wondering what high ticket sales is, trying to get into it, thinking, this is a relatively new industry when, it's been around for a while and a lot of people had gotten really rich off of it, right? But I don't think that potential is gone. I think there is so much room for more people to, make a lot of money doing this. Um, and every single day you see new people selling courses or new people selling info. Every day you see that. You see new people wanting to become a sales rep for those people selling info. You have growth operators everywhere, right? But there's a new wave coming. The only thing is you must be a little bit cautious. So if you're going to be selling info by yourself, you just say got successful in day trading. You had your first $20,000 month day trading profit, and you put a course together. It's pretty good, and you actually know how to teach people, mentor people on how to day trade. So you can sell info still, and you can become a new day trading coach still to this day, because a lot of kids still want to get into it, right? And you're going to have sales reps asking to be on your offer. So if you want to become a day trader and sell a course, you can still do that in this day and age, right? I mean, like I said, the market is still relatively untapped. Um, there are a lot of people still wanting to get into day trading or making money online, for that matter, in whatever niche it is. And every day, people are looking online for the next, even if it is a side hustle, even if they have a job, what they can do to get a little bit extra income in their pocket. And I think info, you know, it's going to stay around and continue to grow. If you look at some statistics, it's set to be an X amount of $1 billion by 2030, right? You see that everywhere. It's going to keep growing. Online education is just getting bigger. That's why, I have doubts myself if I even want to stay in this space, if I want to do what I do anymore. But for sure, because the market is relatively untapped again, and it's only growing. People are going to be putting out courses, and for my sake, that's good for me, right? Because I want them to bring me on as a partner, and I can take care of the entire back end for them, right? That's what growth operating is. That's what I do. Anytime from when a lead comes in to getting them onboarded onto whatever it is they offer, their service, community, whatever it is. Now, if they need help getting leads in the door, we'll help them run ads, right? So basically, everything client acquisition wise, we'll take care of. And a lot of people every day ask me what I do, so I just wanted to, tell you that. But info is not dying. Here, I put a poll up on my story yesterday. I'll share the results right here. As you can see, people agree with me, and that is because most of my followers are newer info guys, either sales reps or offer owners, relatively newer to the space. So, of course, they don't want to think it's dying. And it really hasn't been around that long. I mean, you look at it, college has been around for years and years. Um, and college is the biggest scam of all, right? We all know that. I mean, unless you're a doctor, a lawyer, or a nurse or something, I get it. If you're going to business school for college and serious about the actual classes part of it, I wish you luck. Um, but yeah, college just, I mean, if you're not getting a scholarship or doing something fun in college, if you're just going to party to get a business degree, like I said, or some type of degree that's going to get you a job making 60K a year off the bat, I don't, I'm just, I feel for people like that nowadays because there's so much more out there for them. There's so much more they could do if they have any skill at all. Like, let's say you know how to solve a Rubik's, whatever the fuck it's called, a Rubik's cube. Can't say that shit. Um, like within a minute or some shit, you could literally nowadays create a little bit of content around it and sell it. How to solve a Rubik's cube in 30 fucking seconds. I don't know. Like someone would buy it, and you could probably hit a $10,000 a month from that, and I'd be willing to bet on that, and I'll help you do it if you have that. But these coaches and these offers are going to be popping up all over the place from new people discovering the space, new people getting successful with, something they got sold to. Like, let's say you're a student in a personal brand mentorship, right? You paid 5K to get in. You had some girl that had a big following teach you how to get a big following. You were actually successful with that big following. You're going to start your own coaching service. Hey, this is how you get a big personal brand, right? It's just how it works because that's where the easy, I wouldn't say easy, but that's where the majority of the money will be at, selling it to other consumers, right? B2C. Um, the only thing is a lot of them aren't going to do it in the strategic way needed nowadays in order to become super profitable like you were able to back then without much lead nurturing, without much sales funnel implementation, right? That's where they're going to need some growth operators. And, that's why I got into this space, honestly. It took a lot. It took a lot to learn. I was in sales. I wasn't really familiar with the online space. I made it happen within, 6 months, right? I actually got my client in like my first client in the first 2 weeks. Didn't pan out, but it taught me a lot, right? And from there, all I've been doing is learning. So I got the best back end systems in order to bring somebody from a struggling 5, 10, $20,000 month per month coaching service, easily could scale them to 50K per month. The amount of time it takes to contact a lead after they apply is the most important thing in business. Along with that, they might think emails are outdated. Email nurturing is one of the most important things in this space as well. Along with that, you have to maintain it. It's not just a one-time setup and okay, it's going to keep running. No, it's continuous management, whether that's sales team, whether that's refining your offer, upping your prices, creating a lower ticket offer for people to funnel into if they don't have as much money but still want to get into whatever it is you're selling, right? There's so many tactics out there that a lot of people don't know, right? They're an expert on whatever it is that they do. They're an expert on personal branding. They're an expert on trading. They're not an expert on sales. They're not an expert on creating a landing page and building this entire back end funnel. Because honestly, it's not that easy. It really isn't. Ass fly. And if you look at any business out there in the corporate world, I hate to say it, but the CEO is not the one selling. The CEO is not running ads. The CEO is overlooking the entire team that does that for them, for their company, right? And at the end of the day, selling info is no different than running a company and having a business. It is a business in itself, right? And a lot of people don't realize that. They say, oh, I have this skill set. I'm going to sell it and coach a few people, right? There's a lot more that goes into it, and a lot of people don't realize that. So that's where, growth operating, revenue operations, back end systems comes into play, right? The hard part about this is, client acquisition, but, we'll get into that in a later video on outreach tactics and everything like that. But once you land those first couple clients, get a few testimonials under your belt, everything does become a little bit easier. And honestly, it's just continuous management from there. And the nice part about it is a lot of these info sellers, course sellers are young people similar to myself. And honestly, I've built so many relationships out of it. And, the network you create for yourself is the most important thing. And it's going to determine your growth in the space, right? Just reach out to people, put yourself out there. It don't even matter if you have a good product or not for now. If you land a client, either buy into a mentorship offering growth operating coaching like the Reserve View or something similar and figure it out from there, right? And that's how you're going to learn. You're not going to know everything up front right away, right? Now, buying into a mentorship might accelerate that process, and it definitely will. But the biggest thing right now is, acquiring clients. So if you're an info seller, or if you're a course seller, or, you know, a golf swing coach, any coaching in the space, the biggest thing for you is to outsource some of this work that you've been doing to somebody else. You have to spend money to make money. It's just inevitable. Having someone who's a master on the back end systems and sales process side of things is going to accelerate your process and make you so much more money down the road. It really sucks to do up front. I'm not going to lie. I've had to do it multiple times. I've invested $10,000+ into mentors and into content creators and different things. But it's all for good reason, because I want to accelerate my business, right? So to answer the original question, is info dying? No. Is the old info dying out? And is it become a different space now? Yes, no doubt. But you have to have a way to strategize it. And, that's what my later videos are going to entail. Obviously, this was just an intro, and wanted to come out here and say what up to, people who are going to be following me for a while. And I appreciate those who already do. But don't give up. It's only growing. I would not leave the info space if you've had doubts, if you haven't made much money. It's been a couple months. I feel you. We've all been there, right? Don't give up yet. Video got cut off. Apologies for that. I was going to say, if you're getting discouraged in this space, you've been in here a couple months, maybe even a year, and you haven't hit that $10,000 month yet, I would first say invest a little bit more into yourself. Invest into yourself, whatever it is, improving your content, getting one more mentor. Maybe you had a mentor. Maybe it just, your guys' relationship wasn't the best. Maybe you didn't learn too much from them, or you already learned everything from them and they have nothing else to give you. Outreach to another mentor, learn a little bit more, and give it another push, because the online education space is not going anywhere. It's only getting bigger, right? Don't give up. Write out a detailed plan. Work every day. Stay consistent. And there's no doubt results are going to come because of it. But that's really all I got. I mean, I'm not a motivational speaker at the end of the day. I did just want to come on here and, say that info isn't dying completely. It's actually going to be bigger than it ever has here soon. There's just a new way to go about it, new strategies you have to have, and it's kind of a new wave coming. So if you ever, outsource any of your work on the back end, client acquisition side of things, I really hope you find the right person to do so. There are a lot of people out there, claiming that they can do one thing, they still haven't done it yet. And to be honest, they're, you got to fake it till you make it sometimes, and I got to respect their hustle. But just be wary of it, be cautious, don't spend too much money on them. Make sure they know what they're doing first. Maybe have a couple case studies, testimonials behind them, and then work with them if you see fit and you build a good relationship with them. But at the end of the day, a lot of people are getting scammed in this space. That's why it is deemed a little bit sketchy, and I can completely understand that. I'd love to partner with anyone becoming a coach, wanting to become a coach, is a coach right now, is struggling to scale past those $50,000 months. Love to come into your offer, audit it, and just give you a couple free tips if that's what you want. And by all means, I'll do that for anybody. So thanks for watching. If you stayed to the end, you're a real one. First video of many. Yeah, I'll see you guys soon.